Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to today's Rural Tourism and Sustainable Development Conference. Today's event brings together thought leaders and tourism stakeholders from across the globe to address important issues within the responsible development of rural tourism. Now, before we get to today's opening speeches, allow me to first introduce myself. My name is Paul Brancan. I am the Director of Communications and External Affairs at the Pacific Asia Travel Association, and I will be your host for today. I do have one quick technical note for those of you who are watching us virtually on Zoom. As you will see at the bottom of your Zoom browser, there is a chat function. So feel free to chat and engage with other delegates, say hello, where you're from, and feel free to comment about any of the presentations or panel discussions as you see today. As always, please do keep your chats cordial and professional. And with that, without further ado, we've come to our first opening speech for today to officially begin today's conference. So with us is the chair of the Pacific Asia Travel Association. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Soonhwa Wong.
Excellencies, honored guests, PATA members, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Pacific Asia Travel Association, I would like to welcome all of you to the Virtual Rural Tourism and Sustainable Development Conference 2021. First, I would like to sincerely thank our platinum sponsor, the World Rural Tourism Conference, WRTC, for their generous support for this event. I would also like to thank all our media partners and speakers for their contributions in making this event possible. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought to focus the strong correlation between rural tourism and sustainable development. The shift in travel behavior towards rural tourism has created new opportunities for tourism stakeholders to rethink development in the way that is more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient. By emphasizing rural tourism and sustainable development, the industry can help ensure a fairer distribution of the benefits from tourism, including job creation, the protection of natural resources, infrastructure developments, and the empowerment of local communities. This in turn will allow rural areas to become more accessible and provide a higher quality of life for local communities and the overall destination. Today's event brings together thought leaders and tourism stakeholders from across the globe to address important issues within the responsible development of rural tourism. As PATA acts as a catalyst for the responsible development of travel and tourism too, from and within the Asia-Pacific region, we hope that by bringing together stakeholders from both the public and private sectors to discuss such issues, we can build a more resilient, responsible, and sustainable global travel and tourism industry. Once again, a big thank you to our platinum sponsor, WRTC, and partners for the support for this event. And thank you to all of you for joining us in these discussions. Thank you also to our members, chapter members, live members, and industry colleagues for your continued support for the association. Have a most productive conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Soonhwa, for those words. Now, today's event is not completely virtual, as we do have our industry colleagues and friends gathered in Huzhou with us today. So with that, I would like to welcome my co-host, who is actually on site in Huzhou, to take it over from here. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Zheng Wangzhan. Mr. Zheng, over to you.
感谢 Paul，Thank you Paul。下面我们有请湖州市吴兴区委常委、宣传部部长朱建忠先生致欢迎词。Next, let's welcome Mr. Zhu Jianzhong, member of the Standing Committee of the Wuxing District Committee of Huzhou City, Minister of the Propaganda Department, to give us welcome remarks. Let's welcome.
尊敬的王胜华主席，
Dear distinguished Mr. Sun Wang, Mr. Zhang Junsai, Liz Altogether, dear guests, and the members of PATA, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. So September is the most beautiful season, and we're having this offline session in Huzhou. Today we're going to talk about the bright future of sustainability in world rural tourism. On behalf of the Party Committee and the People's Government of Wuxing in Huzhou City, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the leaders, guests, and the members of PATA who are attending this conference. And also, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all the friends and stakeholders who have supported the tourism in Wuxing District. Ever since the party's 90th National Congress, the party committee, led by our President Xi Jinping, proposed the rural revitalization strategy, and we talk about how to implement strategies of rural revitalization to improve the quality and performance of rural tourism and facilitate the sustainable development. In 2018, Ministry of Culture and Tourism and some other 17 ministries issued the guidelines to facilitate the sustainability in rural tourism. So according to the guideline, rural tourism is an integral part in the tourism, and it is important to implement the rural revitalization strategy to promote modernization in the rural areas and to facilitate the integrated development of the urban and rural areas. So right now, we are ushering a great period for the rural tourism. The industry is growing and the consumption is also growing. However, we have to realize there are some challenges, especially in the post-COVID-19 era, how to face the challenges, how to innovate, and how to turn the crisis into opportunity. We have to discuss how to have a sustainable development. This is an important initiative. Wuxing is always a prominent area in the South Yangtze River Delta area. Wuxing District is located in the Hangzhou-Jiaxing-Huzhou plain in north part of Zhejiang, and it is the downtown area of Huzhou. We have beautiful sceneries, and we have a lot of rivers and channels. We also have a lot of cultural and historical legacies. This is the origin of the silk, and this is where the famous book, The Classic Tea, was written, and we have some of the famous hydraulic works. In recent years, we closely follow President Xi's slogan of a mountain of green is a mountain of gold, and we seize opportunities in the rural revitalization strategy and the integrated development of culture and tourism. We spare no efforts to turn the ecological and the humanistic advantages into economic advantages. We turn the beautiful environment into beautiful economy. Here we have several important projects. For example, some best scenic areas, some rural hotels, the farmland, and bed and breakfast. Right now, we have a holistic concept, tourism concept that encompassing the mountain, water, forest, the farmland, lake, and the city. Right now, we have 1 provincial level resort, 4 national 4A level resort, 12 national 3A level resort, and many of our villages are picturesque and tourist destinations. Apart from that, right now, Wuxing is a provincial level holistic tourism demonstration area. In 2020, we are one of the top 100 municipal level tourist destinations in China. The Miaoshan village of the Miaoxi town in Wuxing district is a major destination for rural tourism in China. And today, we're hosting this conference online and offline. And I believe we can discuss how to have a sustainable development of the rural tourism globally. I believe we will inspire each other. The COVID-19 made us realize that sometimes tourism can be very vulnerable, especially we now understand there is close relation between the tourism, rural tourism and sustainable development. So we are looking forward to hearing from the experts. So I believe your practice and experience in different cities and regions in the world will inspire us so we can work together to improve the rural tourism in the world. As the organizer of this conference, we always hold the belief that rural tourism will be a facilitator for the rural revitalization with the support from the leaders of all the levels, with the support from the stakeholders, and especially with the support from PATA, the tourism industry will embark on a journey of more inclusive, flexible, and sustainable. And Wuxing will strive to become one of the priority choices for the Yangtze River Delta rural tourism. Finally, I wish today's conference a great success. Thank you.
感谢朱部长热情洋溢的讲话。Thank you, Mr. Zhu, for your wonderful speech. 各位领导，各位来宾，为推动全球乡村旅游可持续发展，服务全球减贫事业，加强“一带一路”战略合作，经亚太旅游协会与湖州市吴兴区人民政府共同协商，双方将签署战略合作协议。Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in order to promote the sustainable development of global rural tourism, serve the cause of global poverty reduction, and strengthen the One Belt, One Road strategic cooperation, in the joint negotiation with Pacific Asia Travel Association and Wuxing District People's Government of Huzhou City, both parties agreed to sign the strategic cooperation agreement. 下面我们有请亚太旅游协会首席执行官 Liz Ortigera. Now, please welcome Liz Ortigera, CEO of PATA. Let's welcome.
As the Pacific Asia Travel Association acts as a catalyst for the responsible development of travel to, from, and within the Asia-Pacific region, we work with our members from both the public and private sectors to forge new and better models for the sustainable restart of the travel and tourism industry. Today's signing of the Strategic Cooperation Agreement between PATA and Wuxing District Government is in line with those principles and aims to promote the sustainable development of global rural tourism, serve the cause of global poverty reduction, and strengthen the One Belt, One Road strategic cooperation. I look forward to working with the Wuxing District Government and strengthening our relationship and cooperation. I look forward to working with the Wuxing District Government and strengthening our partnership and opportunities.
感谢 Liz Ortigera, Thank you. 下面有请湖州市吴兴区政府区副区长金彬彬女士、亚太旅游协会代表大中华区主任吕咏梅女士共同签署协议。Now, please welcome Ms. Jin Binbin, Deputy Mayor of Wuxing District, Huzhou City, and Maggie, representative of PATA, to sign and exchange the strategic cooperation agreement. Let's welcome. 感谢金彬彬区长 Liz Otgara 以及吕咏梅主任。Thanks to Miss 金彬彬、Liz Otgara and Maggie。下面我们再次有请 Paul。Now the conference host is passed back to Paul. Let's welcome Paul back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zhang, for helping us on site there. I really wish I could join you in Huzhou, but hopefully once borders reopen, I can then be with you and see your fantastic destination. So we've heard from our opening speeches. We've seen the strategic cooperation agreement between PATA and Wuxing District, and I look forward to that strengthening our partnership moving forward as we look to the responsible development of travel and tourism to, from, and within the Asia Pacific region, particularly post-COVID-19. So now we'll move into our first keynote presentation. And with us to talk about rural tourism development, we are honored to welcome the Secretary General of the African Tourism Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Simba Mandin Yen.